Hey, what's going on, guys? Logan Hart here, and in this video, I'm going to be joined yet again by the talented and wise Rodney Goodwin to dive into the astrology charts and look at why this period of time is so crucial for breaking through to new paradigms, new states of being, and life goals and situations manifesting. Maybe you've been struggling, feeling a bit like you're spinning your wheels and grinding, it rolling around in the mud. I certainly have. So this video is hopefully some relief to you, letting you know that potentially that breakthrough is right on the verge of happening, but only if the requirements are met. So make sure you stay tuned to the end. That's coming up next. All right, welcome in everyone. Make sure you drop down, hit that like button on your way in, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and I'm very excited to have Rodney back on the show to get into some more useful and empowering astrological insight. So let's bring Rodney on here. What's up, brother? Welcome back to the show. It's been a little
man.
while.
Yeah, it's been a bit. Lots has happened since the last show we had.
Yeah.
But we're we had a little meetup. That was cool.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
We definitely haven't done one of these since we met up in person. Feels about a month ago now.
Yeah, it was great, man. Had a good time, good night, man. And you got to see the restaurant, and you got to see how the employees, and, eat some food, drink some mead. We had a great time.
Oh yeah, beautiful place you got, man. I got to try the good food. It was absolutely delicious, and then got deep into good conversation into the wee hours of the night over some mead. So
I know, right?
Doesn't really get better than that.
It really doesn't, man. It really doesn't. It was good. Yeah. So really enjoyed you stopping by. It was awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully we do that again sometime. But
yeah,
as for today, man, I don't really have any idea. Rodney and we didn't really do any kind of pre-chat on this one. I just told him, hey, let's, it's been a while, let's get into it, and we'll just roll with it. I'm sure, we'll just look at the charts and see what the stars are telling us.
Yeah, well, today we're going to get into, of course, the big energy right now is this Mars conjunct Uranus and Taurus. That's the big energy going on right now. And that is one of the aspects we're going to get into. I'd like to get into a little bit on the Saturn retrograde in Pisces. Very, very actually important retrograde that we're in right now through November. And that's going to be forging some really internal aspects to everyone. And especially if you have either 12th house or Piscean energy, you're going to definitely for that one. And then the retrograde with Neptune at 29 degrees, and that is sextiling over to the Plutonian energy, which that particular trance has been going on for quite some time. We've had this sextile going on here, I think, since the 1930s, off and on. And that is a really powerful transformative aspect that's taking place, with that sextile, because that's opening up a gate that a lot of us came through in context from the sun, and then through those outer aspects there, the Neptune grid works, and then getting into the Plutonian aspect as well on those outer planets. So, when we're dealing with a lot of these transits that are taking place right now, the energies that are there, especially this Mars conjunct Uranus in Taurus energy, is kicking up a lot of things going back to the age of Taurus, going back to, the aspects of how things actually rolled out in context to where things shifted with the human race. And then how we are dealing with that on this timeline, and with the energies right now, and how we're dealing with that not only with relationships, and that's dealing with the Venus aspect, but also with how we're doing on an internal level and how we're actually rolling things out and acting, and what actions are we taking to actually make the changes that we need to make to get ignited to our higher aspect, which is that Uranus aspect, which is the ignition. And so Uranus is like an ignited spark plug. It's like a lightning bolt. It has the ability to be able to push things through, in context to the Aquarian energy, and then bridging over to Pisces as well. So when we're dealing with that Mars energy coming into the field of Uranus, what's happening here? Well, Mars is what? It's all your passion. It's your warrior. It's everything that has to do with that fire element, and that's running that Aries gate. Of course, when we know Aries, has a tendency to do some things before they think it through, and then they get in and they jump at things and they do things, and then they don't think it all the way through, and then there's fallout, there's collateral damage because of it. But then on the other hand, the Aries energy can be very powerful in context to initiating the passion of something, an idea or whatever. Then they get in and they are able to initiate that. And so that's very powerful. And then also Mars does run that eighth gate, which is Scorpio. So that 1-8 axis there in context to Mars and Pluto is on. And so we have the trine, of course, over to Pluto and Aquarius taking place with that Mars conjunction with Uranus. So things are unpredictable at the moment. Anything can happen. Anything's on the table. You don't know, because sometimes the very thing that you would think that would happen is just the opposite. It's the opposite of what you just thought would happen to you. And that's how that Uranus energy works, especially when you get a powerful energy like Mars coming in to really charge and kind of bring a conjunction. What is a conjunction? Two energies coming together in union. It's a challenge. So two energies are trying to come together in union. You got the higher aspect of Uranus trying to come together with that warrior passion of Mars. And what happens when you get people who are untrained in their mental focus, you get collateral damage. That's one of the things you have to watch out for. So people are on edge. It's like a bull in a fucking china closet.
Yeah, I have definitely been feeling that unpredictable aspect. I'm not sure how long that particular thing has been going on. When did that start?
Well, if we're looking at the 8-degree aspect or even 6-degree aspect, so we've had this going on for about a week and a half, maybe 11, 12 days now.
Yeah.
That's been happening when it started to come into the field of Uranus. And because, Mars is faster moving, Uranus is an outer planet, so it moves slower. So, so we're moving that energy is moving, through that Uranian gate where it's setting in Taurus, and it's bringing up all kinds of, energy of absolute unpredictable chaos, really is what I call it. And it's stuff that you wouldn't even think would happen, and then all of a sudden, boom, it just happens, and then it shifts the consciousness.
See, I knew there was something like that. Like I've been experiencing that, and I was thinking, is that Mercury retrograde? There was something of that, that flavor, that kind of chaotic energy of just like kind of random shit that's like what, and then you got to deal with it. Been having more truck issues, minor stuff, but just annoying and just out of nowhere, and just like like my wiper thing is malfunctioning, so it keeps telling me my fluid is out. So it's like not very critical, but yet it keeps going off while I'm driving, and it's just annoying and just kind of chaotic. And I'm like, man, what is this?
Yeah, Uranus runs devices and gadgets and computers and that type of stuff as well. That's what it kind of gets into as well with anything that is electronic or electronics type of stuff. So you can see glitches, taking place right now. Things could glitch out in context to whatever mechanical stuff like you're talking about, computer stuff. We had, of course, we had the internet go down at work, so we had to enter all the credit cards manually. And then, so it took a while to get that process. And then, so I had to call and figure out how to get things rebooted so that we could get the credit cards processed. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. And this
Kind
is
of a
that.
tedium thing, it seems like.
Yes, it can
It's
be.
like not detrimental, like you can work through it, but you're just like,
Right.
oh, what's next? Like really, God.
Right, exactly. And so, when you're dealing with your personal, reality field, these little glitches, these little things that they kind of get, they try to get you frustrated,
Yeah.
and that frustration tries to come in. And that's a lot of the Taurus energy in context. It can, because Taurus can get frustrated fairly easily. And of course, with Uranus and Mars sitting in that Taurus gate, that frustration then can start to run your system. So you got to be careful about allowing, the frustration and then getting into a space where you start getting down on yourself, and then it taps into the lack of your self-worth, and then the next thing you know, you're reeling. And so you got to pull that back in and bring that back to your center, and to just realize that, hey, these are just temporary glitches. These are temporary bumps. This isn't like going to take, this isn't a quote unquote headshot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it just grazed the ear, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, let's cool the jets, man. Because people are, I mean, I've noticed even at work, people are kind of flying off the handle at certain little things that are happening that seem to bother them, and then they just like triggers, just a trigger, boom, Moody too. Whew.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've felt that way as well. And I would just kind of like try to sit with that and dig into it. Like, logically that shouldn't have bothered me so much, but yet I'm really agitated, and why is that kind of thing?
Yeah, and that's that, that energy, because Uranus is a very fixed energy, so is Taurus. So when we're looking at that, Uranus is kind of like, okay, we want to get this thing fixed. We want to ground it. We want to put it into a place where it's all working together, But, the Taurus energy is like, hey, man, I just want some stability here, man. I just want to be stable. I want to be financially stable. I want to feel like I'm emotionally stable. Everything's cool. Nothing's shaking around. Uranus is like, hey man, bring on the earthquakes. So that those two energies are coming together, and you bring Mars in, and Mars is like, hey, dude, I just want to power through. I'm passionate about this. I don't really want to think about it. I just want to do it.
Right.
Let's just do it. And so then that can create disaster, because all of a sudden you're like going, wait a second here. We didn't think that all the way through. We didn't look at every possibility that could actually take place with this action that we're actually putting into the reality field. So we need to step back here a little bit, man. And so, we're talking really powerful energy here. So we could be looking at, some crazy weather patterns that are taking place with this, that are going to kick up or have been kicking up in context to storms and earthquakes and volcano eruptions, this type of stuff as well.
So we're seeing that in the physical, but then also the emotional, the spiritual, and the mental realm as well.
Right. Exactly.
Like all the big hurricane and all that stuff that just came through.
Yeah.
Kind of kick off the season. That is very interesting.
Yeah, and I guess it was some powerful shit, huh? I didn't even realize it because I don't watch the news, but I didn't realize how big that thing was.
It hit Houston, but then there was a lot of like residual storms that went up through the middle U.S. So I mean, I got hit multiple times as I was traveling through it.
Okay, yeah. So a lot of collateral fallout.
Yep.
With that particular storm.
So with this particular conjunction that you're talking about here, how would you summarize that energy in a very simple way, and then like what's the actionable response to make the most of that?
So in a very powerful, positive way, this energy can really push you through some barriers and some things in your life that you've been trying to overcome, especially dealing with your self-worth, self-validation, which is that Taurus gate, and then learning how to bring things online in context to being able to push through those barriers that have been holding you back. So you got fire, you got that fire and air, right, coming together. What does fire and air do? It's an accelerant.
Explosion.
Yeah. So this is really going to help you to maybe push through some areas in your life that you have been lacking in, or that you've been, really, that have been kicking your ass, and you haven't been able to break through. This is a good time to set some intentions and goals over the next 2 weeks or so while this transit is going on, that you can, input into your consciousness, into your daily action, daily routine, or weekly routine, and then carry that on now. So this is a good time for implementation on a very positive note, and positive level. On the other hand, as well as I do, we can't control what anybody else does or does not do in context to their own consciousness and the people that are in your circle. That's why you have to be very careful about who you allow in your inner circle, because when these type of energies come up, sometimes the true colors can come out of someone because they haven't done the work, and then you get that type of fallout going on in context to betrayal. So that is coming up to all the Age of Taurus bullshit that we've been dealing with for quite some time now. So the Uranus energy here is very powerful. I think it's setting at, let's see what degrees it's setting at. It is sitting at 25, 26 degrees of Taurus right now. Very mature energy that we're talking about in this gate right now, with Mars sitting there, and both of them are still direct. And so we're on, it's on. And so we can definitely over the next 2 weeks start to see some very crazy shit take place. I mean, stuff you wouldn't even think about happening. And then all of a sudden you go, wow, how the hell did that happen? Just stuff off the cuff, off the wall, weird shit. Who knows, man? Stuff that you'd be like, I never thought that would happen in like ever. And then it just happens. And so, but the key here, Logan, is to keep your balance. When we're dealing
be the constant anchor within the chaos where everything is swirling around you and you're just steadfast.
You got to be in the eye of the storm, man.
Well said.
You got to be in the eye of the storm. You can't allow that 5 of Wands where you're having this, consternation and kick up with people, and you're battling over ideas of what to put into action, or you're trying to find that balance with the 7 of Wands, where you're trying to actually find some solid ground to stand on, that type of stuff. So you have to realize that, with this energy, it can come and knock you off your horse if you're not careful from the flank. That's why you've got to understand hyperdimensional warfare. You got to be able to control your mind. And that's the power of the wizard. And we are on the wizard factory.
That's right.
The power of the wizard at any moment is to be able to calm his mind or her mind, bring things into balance to that, and allow that heart to come back into alignment with the feather. At that point, the gate then of reasoning and logic and understanding and practical application opens up to you. As you take that step back, you find that balance. That is what a wizard does. So, so we have to realize that the wizard is in control of the energy force. It does not control him or her.
Right. Especially the internal realm.
That's where it happens.
That is the kingdom. That is your domain, where you have total. Out there, it becomes a mixture. Your will is mixing with all of the variables and other people's actions and thought forces and things like that. But your internal domain, that is your kingdom. That is your domain.
It is, and that's where you rule.
Yes,
and this is where you make your choices from. This is where things you put into action.
Or you get overthrown. You've got internal rebellion. They're usurping your crown, and you're just getting overran with internal destruction.
Right, and that's where you have to be able to calm, find the eye of the storm, and calm down the waters with your mind. See, and then that then will translate, outside. You know, this world is so fucked up. I mean, everything's like on a reversal. It's like, oh, we're looking at everything on the outside, saying, oh, that's affecting me on the inside. And that's how people get so fucked up, because they're allowing all these outside forces to dictate their energy force. So
Right.
their nine, or their spindle, or their actual energy force is hijacked, because they have not learned how to control their state of mind, to the actual understanding of who they are, because they don't know who the fuck they are. And they still haven't got the chance to face their dragon yet. Actually look that thing in the eye, the fire coming out of the mouth, the breath coming out of the nose. It's that thing staring you down in context to your tyrannical, narcissistic aspect, or just the opposite. I'm so shy, I don't want to do it. That's the same damn thing. It's just on the flip side. So you got to learn how to face that dragon and face that fear. That's another thing that's in context to this transit, because it is trining the Plutonian energy in Aquarius. So we've got a straight up trine there with that for transformation. So this is a great time to bring that transformative aspect to your ego system. And I'm not talking about, a lot of people are out there spinning that, well, you kill your ego bullshit.
Yeah.
Such a lie of shit. Because look, man, you need that dragon. You need that ego, because that's empowering you in this realm.
Right.
And that ego needs to find that balance so you can mount the dragon in context. See, now you have control over your ego in context to being balanced and in harmony with your own internal universe, your own internal world, that your domain, your kingdom. See, and that's how it works. And so many people talk about doing shadow work, but to be honest with you, they talk about it.
Yep.
This is the time, this particular transit and how it's set up is the time to be able to start to really implement things in your life that you have been waiting to see breakthroughs with. This is the spark plug. This is the time to do that.
And how long is that going on for?
We're going to see another few weeks with this. And then it'll be gone. Mars will be moving. Mars will move into Gemini. 10, 11 days. You're kind of rolling out next, till you start to see Mars move into Gemini. I think that this is signaling something, though, in the heavens, because it is a very powerful conjunction. And I think that a lot of us have been, kind of waiting for something to break loose, and this is kind of like, like, even like with anything, you're working on something, or you're trying to get something done, and you've been working at it and working at it and working at it, and you get frustrated because your progress doesn't seem to be, in alignment with your effort. And so your effort's there, you've been putting in the effort, but you haven't seen the progress, because there's that one kingpin, or that one obstacle that's been blocking you, keeping you from having the catapult, and so this is that energy that's going to help remove that kingpin, pull it out so you can get the catapult.
Wow. It always blows my mind how many synchronicities there are every time we do these. Again, we don't prep for this. We don't really have much pre-conversation when we do these episodes. No. And it's just like you're explaining so much depth to exactly what I've been experiencing, and am like the things that are ongoing with my life. As I've been working on 2 very big projects side by side since pretty much the beginning of the year. Right. Half a fucking year is a very long time to be working on something and not having it finished. So you're just like in this perpetual almost feeling of limbo, like you're just kind of like moving through it, but you don't know exactly when you're going to come out the other side. But your eye on the prize, I've just been really working on that aspect within myself of the eye on the prize concept of like
Right.
keeping that North Star, even though you feel like you don't know what's behind you and what's forward, but you just know I'm going this way and I'm going to keep, and I'm never going to stop moving that direction until something happens.
Right. Right. And that's where the frustration comes in, because sometimes that can kick up. And then you feel like, oh, geez, man, am I ever going to get this done? Or am I ever going to be able to break through this? You know, these patterns, these mental patterns that I've been on for so long. And you know, I personally have had some major things come up within my own life that I've had to deal with, that have tried to pull me into those loopings, you know, into those old patterns and victim mentality, that type of stuff. And, you know, you just have to recognize it for what it is, and then realize that that's not where you want to go. That can't guide you. That's only going to destroy you.
It's not useful.
It is unuseful. That's right. So you've got to look at, you know, what the heavens are declaring, you know, to the patterning of your own mental stability. Because without having that mental focus, like you're talking about, that North Star, something to guide you into, you know, into your purpose, and then realizing that purpose is part of your journey and your soul progression. So we're sitting here going, oh man, you know, it looks like I took 2 steps back and 1 step forward. I'm going backwards, you know, but that's how it feels sometimes. But, you know, when we're looking at these energies, we have to realize that sometimes that's that Saturnian energy when it goes retrograde, which I want to talk about now. Because now what happens here? Saturn decided, hey, look, man, I'm in the gate of the mystic here, man. I'm in the gate of the shaman. I'm in the gate of the you know, no boundaries. This is, you know, this is Pisces, right? And now Saturn's gone retrograde, and now I've got a choice here to make on the internal level here to actually clear out some major karmic shit that I've been on for who knows how long. And so what happens is that we get the internal life reviews during this retrograde. We are going to get some things that are going to come up in our lives and in our minds that are going to, we're going to look at it and we're going to go, wow, I did not see that patterning that was destroying this, or that was really hurting me, or that was being self-destructive patterns, and all these things that are going to come up with this retrograde. And really, honestly, with this particular retrograde, this is the end of the gate for Saturn. This is the end of a cycle for Saturn. After this, it goes into Aries, and it begins a brand new cycle in context to the wheel. So we are finishing up our soul progression in context to this, and everybody's at different levels. But literally, like, this is one of the last retrogrades we're going to get in the fullness of this 30-year cycle that Saturn's been on. And so this is a very powerful time to really look at what's coming up in your internal level, all going through November here. Because look, you got to deal with shit now. None of us have arrived here. You know, none of us are walking, quote unquote, walking, in this place of we are manifesting at will. Okay. None of us are there yet. Okay. Not saying that we won't be there, but we are not there yet. So there's still things within our mental and emotional bodies that need to be cleared, that need to be dealt with. Karmic aspects with relationships that we have not dealt with, that are still within our field, that are not really that great for us. And so we have to make choices and decisions in context to what? In context to our soul's progression work and our higher self, our higher aspect, our oversoul, and then eventually that connection to the higher force. So that's how this particular retrograde is going to run out with the Saturnian energy. And on the flip side of that, if you aren't dealing with these things, you're going to find yourself absolutely miserable, because your soul is screaming for transformation. It's screaming to be let go of the limitations and delays that have been going on in your life for a very long time, over the last 30 years, depending on how old you are. So
Mm.
if you're, I mean, that's how this works. So when we start to see how we can break through and have that breaker mindset and mentality, that means that when Saturn brings something up to your waking internal dialogue and consciousness from the subconscious and unconscious realms, and it bridges that gap and shows you the wound of Chiron within yourself, then you begin to realize, oh, wait a second here. This is something that I really, really have to change.
Yeah.
I have to change this. And so that is your waking consciousness. That's your subconscious and your unconscious waking up, showing you something. Light is being shown. It's being, in retrospect, it's being shining into your unconscious the sleeper. And it's time for us to take to the next level. This will take us to the next level, this retrograde.
Yeah, and something you said really struck a chord with me about your soul is screaming for transformation. It really kind of made me think about this whole very new agey idea of, everything just being so effortless when you're in your bliss and you're just floating through life, and
Yeah.
like, oh, there's just nothing to do in life except be, right? Just this very being and just free floating. But where's the transformation in that?
Right.
And how are you going to transform if you're not putting yourself in the fucking fire to challenge yourself and cause yourself to be, to get that external stimulation of an experience,
Yeah.
to push yourself over the edge into that new paradigm, into that new way of being? Are you just going to be exactly how you are for the rest of your life? Is that really what this life is for? I mean, why even be born then? Why even incarnate in the first place? In my opinion, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. That whole, I'm gonna find my bliss, man, and I'm
Yeah,
just gonna
just
chill. I'm gonna
be,
chill out, man.
just be, man.
I'm
What are
just
you in
gonna,
such a hurry for?
I'm just gonna be, man, and all that shit. You're here to force something. We're here to change things, man. We didn't come here to fuck around. We came here to change shit.
Mm.
And that starts with you. Look, you can't change anybody, man. Somebody that scripture came across my feed. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. That one. You know what I'm talking about? So
Yep.
then the guys, you got to love the world. No, you don't have to love the fucking world. There's nothing there to love. The world is being devoured. You can't change anyone. You can't change anything. But what you can change is you.
Mm.
And then that becomes the witness. Your life, then you're kicking ass. You've got protection from the ancestral realm. You've got protection from your connection with the higher force. You're forging life. You're transforming. Your physical, mental, and emotional makeup is kicking ass. You have a financial base within your life now because of your kicking ass. I mean, all of that is a witness to the path work and the alchemical process that's taking place within your life.
Right.
And all that other stuff don't matter. It doesn't matter because it's all there to rake you out and keep you from actually making a difference to the collective aspect. See?
Yeah, when you said you're here to force, I thought of the Force from Star Wars. That, like, that's the magician's, the Jedi's power is the
It
Force.
is.
It's not a bliss or a flow. It's a force. Like, you have to force that. What is force? If you're forcing something, you're imposing your will on it. You're
Yeah.
trying to like push it through to a different state, like, a different condition, through a sheer act of will. That's not always easy. It's not meant to be easy.
It's not.
You're forcing it.
That's why they call it the will force.
Yeah.
And that, and
So think of what a psyop that is when these new agers are like, if you have to force something, then it's not meant for you, because everything should just be like, if when you're in alignment, everything just floats and flows straight, you magnetize it to you, like with this kind of law of attraction kind of thing.
mhm,
They're literally completely bypassing the aspect of the will, and to actually force and overcome
right.
the entropy of nature. Like,
Don't you
that's
have,
what it's there for. The entropy of nature is there for you to push up against it in order to change and transform through those experiences that you're forging through that.
you don't have your vision board set up, Logan?
This is my vision board, man.
Yeah, I mean, look at nature itself. Thunder, lightning, wind. Everything has a force behind it.
Yes.
You got to look at nature, and then you take that to vibrational correspondence and congruency, and that's how you link up. It's our teacher.
Oh, what about Skyrim? The main dragonborn
Yes,
shout that they teach you is called unrelenting force.
yes,
Fus Roda, force.
that's right.
You boom.
That's right. And that is the will force, or the force itself, is being able to find the balance. And then once you find that balance, that is what a wizard does. He's able then to go in and force that will force in alignment with the balance, and then work within what? The frequency spectrum.
Right. Natural law.
Yes. And that is how you change things. See? Otherwise, you're just, like you said, entropy, stagnation. Yeah, man, pass another joint, dude. Give me another bong hit. Whatever it is, right?
You're a fart blowing in the wind.
And you haven't done a damn thing to actually change your mental and emotional position, or your physical position for that matter. And you see a lot of that going on with people, and of course, we deal with it with, those who aren't even, their soul's just not awake. They haven't been ignited. So they just go through the motions of, going to work and going to school, trying to make a career and family and mortgages and all this shit. And they get caught in the spider's web. And so they don't know how to get out of it. And so look, I just did a video today on this. There are certain epiphanies, there are certain aspects that take place within everyone that has that opportunity to actually wake the fuck up. The problem is that people don't want to wake up. They don't. They like their entropy. They like their stagnation. They like their darkness. They love to be devoured. And because of that, they don't want to wake up. They don't want to face their fears, their dragon, and learn how to realize that the gold of consciousness is behind their entropy and their stagnation and their narcissistic tendencies and all of the tyrannical aspect. You're right. You can't change them. I'm right. You're wrong. That's it. And so look, until you get past all that bullshit, those epiphanies are there for a reason. It's the higher force knocking on your fucking door saying, get your shit together. That's what this conjunction's all about with Mars and Uranus. Uranus is your higher running aspect. And it's your ignition point to your healing in Neptune. So that higher aspect with Uranus, then Mars is coming in to say, let's get it done. Let's pound this shit. Let's get it going, man.
Let's force it.
Let's force it through. Damn it.
Yes.
See?
Boom.
And that's what this transit's all about here, man.
Yeah.
And with Saturn retrograde, it's showing you where the aspects need to be transformed. And that's why it's trining over to the Plutonian energy in Aquarius. That's also that 11th gate, or that Uranus energy as well. So look, when we're dealing with that, we're dealing with high mental capabilities that are sitting there. They're untrained. They haven't been tapped into fully. So this is the time to be able to level up your mental capabilities as well.
Right. But that's why, why do all that when you can just go with the flow, man? like that's what I'm saying is like it's almost like that whole mentality is like this coping mechanism to compensate for how powerless people feel. It's
Yeah,
easier it's easier to convince yourself you don't need power, everything just flows, than to admit you're disempowered and
right.
not where you should be. So it's just like, oh, you don't need to force anything, don't bother with all of that. You're just wasting your energy with all this hustle culture, just grinding it out and all that. Like, what do you need to do all that for, man? They're totally bypassing. It's a form of spiritual bypassing.
It is, because you don't get anything done without resistance.
Right. Yeah, I mean, just
You
think,
don't.
would we as humans even be here to this day if everybody back in the day had that, laissez-faire mindset of just like, oh, well, I guess, humans are on the brink of extinction, but I guess we're not meant to exist, or else the universe would just let us be.
The universe isn't telling you what to do.
Like the sheer willpower and like refusal to fucking die is the reason humans are still alive on this planet, through despite all of the odds that
Look,
of
man,
shit that tried to kill us and wipe us off the map.
the human spirit is incorruptible.
Mm.
The problem is this is what they've
It's
tried to
the
cut us
mind.
off from.
The
They,
mind gets corrupted
that's right. They tried to cut us off from the
from
human,
spirit.
from the spirit itself. See, and so
Absolutely.
if they can cut us off from that, then what happens is then that shuts down the heart core intelligence, and then now what do you have? You have people who are easily controlled.
Mm-hmm.
See, now you can
It's
use them to whatever you want to do.
it's Osiris dismembered.
Exactly.
Inverted, cut off from the heart space, and all of the internal aspects of us self spread to the four corners of the earth, and no communication with one another.
Yeah, I mean, we've got all the tools to communicate that you could possibly have right now, but no one knows how to use them
Mm.
because no one is listening.
And they don't have internal
They don't
communication.
have the internal dialogue. They're just going along with whatever. I don't even know, man. But I've heard it's a very high number that people don't even have an internal dialogue going on within themselves.
Yeah, that's
They,
very unsettling.
and so they're just going with whatever, and
I It's funny that I posted this week on my Facebook sort of a poll question of like, what is it that what's the fundamental difference between a hero character and an NPC?
mm,
And the best answer that I had somebody comment was their connection to source. And I was like, that makes sense, because that's what all of this is it's your soul connection and your
yes,
internal like, well, that's what your internal dialogue is your
yes,
soul is speaking to you, your
exactly,
higher self, or however you want to look at that. But that's what that is that is source. Your radio antenna is tuned to the right frequency, that you're picking up that
right,
signal, and you're getting that inner voice, uh, as opposed to what most people have internally is just the program. It's the code, repeating the ones and zeros of what was
yeah,
installed on that
that's right,
hardware.
yep, and that's how they get you. It's the machine itself telling you what to do.
Mechanized.
And you do this, you're in the loops and you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over, thinking that you're making progress when in fact you're being devoured. That's the trick. See? And so we see that with polytricks, when we're looking at all the left and right, Democrat, Republican, all the, all this is how they get people swinging back and forth and staying on them loops, because the machine is driving the narrative to their mind, and they don't even know it because they're so enamored with the drama.
Yeah.
The drama is like, that's what they live off of. That's
Crack.
what they thrive off of. It's their crack. Exactly. And so they don't know how to quiet the mind. They don't know how to get out of the machine itself with the zeros and the ones, and learn how to actually tap into the trivium. They don't know how to do that. See?
They don't even know what the trivium is to begin with.
Exactly, man. So this is part of,
because they haven't watched my presentation. Check it out.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
there's
that's
many sources out there, but
yeah. So this conjunction is really part of being able to help break through certain things like that, man.
hmm.
And then of course we have this retrograde with get down. Come on. We have this retrograde with Neptune right now, and that's running at a 29-degree click. So when we're looking at the anaretic aspect of Neptune, let me tell you, man, this shit can get really intense because we're dealing with a heavy amount of your unconscious, subconscious mind trying to wake up, especially on an internal level with that retrograde at 29 degrees. Look, Neptune is in a full, absolute mature position with that Piscean gate right now. We're at 29 degrees, baby. It is on. So we're dealing with, not only are we dealing with that retrograde, but we're dealing with that connection to the galactic center. Now, if nobody understands what the galactic center is, the galactic center sits in Sagittarius at 26 degrees, 26, 27 degrees. That is the galactic center to the central sun itself. That sits in the ninth gate of Sagittarius. This is the Jupiter energy. That's why I'm always talking about igniting Jupiter, the expansion of consciousness, right? Because Jupiter runs that ninth gate in context to your galactic center. So we have a square off between the galactic center and Neptune, 29 degrees, right? That is in a square position. That's tension.
Mm-hmm.
That is challenge. And that square then becomes a very, very powerful aspect to transform your unconscious, subconscious mind so that you can wake the hell up. There's opportunities here for going deeper within your unconscious mind to wake things up, to shine the light in to those areas where you have not been before. And that is a powerful aspect that we're dealing with right now. So you've got to really pay attention to your dream space right now. Symbols in your dream space, what kind of dreams that you're having, where they're connected to. This is all a part of your unconscious mind trying to wake the hell up.
Mm.
So that's another powerful aspect that we're dealing with right now. And, that has been on a sextile with Pluto now since the 1930s and 40s. And it's been coming, between 1 and 5 degrees, basically, because both of those planets are slow moving. They both retrograde. And so we're dealing with a very, very long transit right now. And we're at 1 degree right now. So the transformative aspect to your unconscious, subconscious mind field is very much on, and to your higher mental aspect as well, because Pluto is running the Aquarian gate right now. So, Aquarius, 11th, 12th gates here, dealing with a lot of maturity. We're dealing with a lot of mistakes that we may have made in our past and learning how to not drive the narrative to repeat those, but to make an amends on an internal level for those mistakes that we made that took us off our path. I mean, like a week or two ago, I was sitting there and I was thinking about, oh shit, man, I should have turned left when I went right. I should have turned right when I went left. And I was thinking about all these stupid things that I did in my younger years that I just did. I was just ignorant, man. Just ignorance, which is what karmic aspects are. And I didn't know. I just didn't know because I was asleep.
Mm.
This is what this is trying to do. It's trying to wake you up so you can learn how to find truth within your choices. So it's a very powerful transit as well going on.
Awesome.
That's a long transit, man. This is gonna go into 2032. So yeah, so we've got this particular transit has been going to be on. Well, it's basically 90 years. So
Wow.
it's a lot going on right now. And being at 1 degree, I just wanted to bring that up because it's really, really strong right now. 1 degree sextile here with Pluto, and they're both in retrograde, Pluto and Neptune. So a lot of internal work going on right now, guys.
Never stops.
It doesn't, but there's times when you're out there and you're igniting something or forging something, or you're breaking through something because things went direct, and now all of a sudden it's on as within as without, and then that as without then starts to see transformative aspects that start to take place. You look back on your life and you go, shit, what did I do this last year? What did I do 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? And you start looking back on that and you go, holy shit, man, I've made some progress. I've done some stuff. See? And then you can be proud of that. So you can use that as a foundational aspect that drives the narrative to future wins.
Right. Yeah. I was reflecting on this as today's my birthday, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah, happy birthday, man. Solar return. Yeah.
Appreciate that. So depending on when this video comes out, probably be, at least a few days, but the 14th is my birthday. And of course, as it calls for, I've been kind of reflecting on what have I done the past year. And I mean, I got to say it's pretty substantial, at least for my own metrics, which is the only thing that really matters. It was exactly this time of year last year when I got back on the road, first time as an owner operator,
Nice.
running my own truck. So this full year I've been running, making money, saving and investing, and building these projects, which I can't wait to talk about. But I just, I just keep talking about all these things I'm doing, and I'll get to reveal them soon, but not yet. So even that is just, it's bittersweet, I guess. I can't wait to be able to talk about it, but I got to respect the process and keep things close to the chest and just keep building, because I believe in what I'm doing. And I really think these two things are both going to be extremely impactful in a way to, serve people. And so, yeah, like I said, I mean, it's been like the last 7 months I've been doing this stuff, and it's still not finished yet. So just got to keep going, and I guarantee by this time next time it's birthday time, I think things will look a lot different for me, actually.
Hell yeah, man. Look, we need to be proud of what we've accomplished. There is nothing wrong with celebrating your fucking victories, man. That is part of the masculine force that drives the narrative to your soul, your sun, and your kingdom. What kingdom are you building? Are you building someone else's fucking kingdom, or are you building yours?
Yep.
See, ask yourself that question.
It's one or the other.
Yeah.
But, either way, you're making that choice.
Absolutely. We have an entrepreneur free spirit, man. And, that entrepreneur drives me, and it's driven me my whole life to take chances. Have I failed? Hell yes, I failed. But those failures have only taught me lessons. So they're actually not failures. They're actually substantial foundation builders.
Yeah.
That's the difference. You can take it, become a victim, or you can bring those wounds and those failures and all that stuff in and transform them and put them into your foundational blocks.
Mm-hmm.
See, so that the next time when you forge something, you won't make that mistake.
Yeah, it's like when a kid falls down trying to learn how to walk, do you call them a failure? Or they're doing it. They're literally trying and trying and learning what not to do until they learn what to do. And then they become competent at it.
Exactly.
That's how it works. It's our what is a failure is our school system. And the way that the testing,
what a joke.
And this, everything is set up of like pass and fail. Fail is this, just, you can't fail, you must not fail, it's the worst thing ever. That is so damaging to program a young mind into that type of thinking, and most people are in that one way or another, whether they're probably not aware of it at all. But that program is running them, and it keeps them in fear and inaction and just smallness, and that's a big step when you get into that entrepreneurial spirit. You start putting yourself out there,
Yes.
The first thing you got to do is be like make peace with failure, but it's not failure. It's, even the reframe of that. You're making peace with uh, mistakes are part of the process, and it's how you learn, and it's building that foundation of competence and then confidence, which is even more powerful because that confidence
Yes.
comes, you can only earn that. You can't fake it.
No.
True confidence, you
Yeah.
can pretend, but that shit is shaky. It's going to end up messing you up even worse. But true confidence comes from knowing that you've got what it takes because you've put yourself through it and come out the other side better and stronger. And not just once, but you've committed yourself to a lifetime of that never ending process, the ever becoming verdande, but
Yeah.
of the self, the ever
Yeah.
becoming self.
I remember back at a lot of times the one of the quotes or things that they would tell you in the entrepreneurial world or the multi-level marketing world is fake it till you make it. You know, that fucking phrase. And I think to myself, why would you want to fake anything? You have to be able to have a mental aspect in your vision, in your mind's eye, that you have already been victorious. You've already been successful. It's already happened in context. So you bypass the whole aspect. And in the midst of that, if you have things that are challenging you, well, good. Because things need to challenge your ass. Because
Right.
how else are you going to forge anything if you haven't been challenged?
And if it was easy, everyone would do it. And even more importantly, it wouldn't really mean shit.
It
You,
wouldn't
you
mean
wouldn't you
anything.
wouldn't have any sense of pride and accomplishment from that.
No, no. And when you start taking it to the aspect of what we're actually trying to do here, and you look at the big picture, you start to realize, hey, man, I have an individual responsibility that I came in with, a
Mm,
purpose
a
for this
purpose.
incarnation. I have to step into that responsibility and I've got to take accountability to it and then link up with people who are like minded, who are searching out alignment in context to that, and then create something great. That is what the age of Aquarius is all about, and networking. Bringing things together where people who are like minded, who are having the same forging and focusing aspect in context to that entrepreneurial spirit, your partners, the people who you're linking up with, and this is how we're going to change it. See,
Mm.
and so if you're stuck, guys, if whoever's listening to us out there, if you're stuck right now, if you feel like that you haven't been able to break through in certain aspects of your life, take a pen and paper, write it down or whatever. Look at the things that have been holding you back. Okay, that's your Saturnian aspect. Okay, all right. And then be able to look at those. And now you have an opportunity during these next 2 weeks to ignite something that's going to help you break through those bullet points.
That is your own unique set of challenges that are
Yes.
there for you.
Yes.
They are there for you to transmute
That's
into becoming who you're truly meant to be.
that's
That's how
right.
you can look at that. Not, oh, these are the reasons that I can't. These are the reasons that are waiting for you to step into your power and turn those into wins and positive reinforcement of personal experience.
Couldn't have said it better, man. That's exactly right. And that's what people don't want. They're afraid of. That's their dragon. They're afraid of that fear of failure, the fear of of not making it, the fear of not being
Yeah.
successful, the fear of
Not good
whatever.
enough. Yeah.
Right. And that goes back to that Taurus self-worth, self-validation.
Self-worth, man.
Absolutely.
It's
See,
exactly right.
which is this transit that we're dealing with right now. See,
Man,
you know,
dude, beautiful, like full circle right there.
yeah, and that's what get proactive to your own life, to your own set of challenges that you face that dragon, face that shadow dragon, bring it into a position where it is submitting to your will force. See, then you can mount the dragon, and now you have control over the energy force. Like I said, It's the Libra gate. Your heart is light as a feather. It's your Libra gate that's going to be the challenge to enter those gates. See? And when you enter those gates, what are you doing? You've got the dragon and the phoenix. That's the alchemical process that's taking place in context to your higher and lower self. As above, so below. As within, so without. This is how the Grand Cross works.
Yes.
The Axis Mundi works like that. See?
Yeah, man.
And you want to be a wizard? That's how you do it.
You heard it here, folks. Wizard Factory.
So it's, the possibilities then become, jacked up, because now all of a sudden you're not looking at 1 or 2 doors. There's 50 doors. There's 100 doors. Holy shit. Shit opened up to me that I didn't even know existed now, and so you want to talk about flow. That's how you get into the flow. Nah, I'm just going to have to take it as it comes, brother. No, you be the wizard. You be the magi, the Jedi of your own life.
Be the force.
And then you create those opportunities through alignment and connection to nature and the higher force itself. And then that opens up the opportunities to actually bring that will force into alignment and create some really powerful stuff.
Powerful stuff, man.
It's they try to throw those reversals out.
Yep. It's just total inversion of what is divine and sacred. It's all there. Ironically, they're revealing truth by trying to invert it, because the inversion is just the mirror image of what is.
It's a parallel universe.
They're showing you. They're highlighting it.
Yeah, think about it. I mean, you've got an actual true Earth timeline, that's the actual human race, true Earth, actual powerful, and then you've got this shadow aspect here in context to the realm, which has been hijacked to an actual parallel Earth timeline. We got 2 timelines going on here, man.
Right.
And so everyone's caught in the shadow, shut down machine AI, fucking 0-1 shit that's running their system and their energy force. And they don't realize that what they have here is the opportunity to tap into the actual truth of who the human race is. See? And that's what we're here to show. We're here to be that witness of the actual power of the human race, the human man, the human woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So
I think that's probably a good place to, we're rounding the hour here. So Rodney, if you want to just maybe kind of summarize the aspects that we covered today, just a real quick run through of just kind of like a review and summary, and then we'll wrap it up. You can, share all your
let's wrap it up. So look, only you can stop you. No one can stop you unless you allow it. You have a choice. You can be a victim and be a victim to whatever comes on the external aspect to your life, and you can choose to allow that to influence your energy force and your choices, or you can flip that energy and tap into your higher self, your higher aspect, your oversoul in context, make that connection, make that star core ignition, get that power base going, and then allow the passion of who you are and your purpose and your incarnation now to take front stage and center. And that's what this transit's all about with Uranus and Mars conjunct Taurus. You can allow yourself to be a victim and say, I can't do it, it's too hard. Or you can say, you know what, man, I'm taking the bull by the fucking horns now, and I'm going to make it happen. Because you know what, I am tired. And let me tell you, man, your soul's tired of being just, allowed to be a victim, allowed to just whatever. It's sick of it. It's sick of you being that way. And until you stand up and actually make the changes and put the actual action into manifestation, you're going to continue on the patterning and looping of all the matrix bullshit. So it's time for you to step up as a man, as a woman, and make the changes. This is the time to do it. Look, you're going to have challenges. Saturn's going to challenge you. It's retrograde. It's going to bring those challenges to your life. Those are there as opportunities for you to break through. Look, when Saturn is ready for you to break through and you break through, it releases you to Jupiter. It releases you to your expansion of consciousness. Now you're no longer locked down in those limitations and delays. Those have been lifted upon your life, and the veil has been lifted upon your eyes. And now you can actually see and hear with your etheric body. Now it's time to step into that role and allow the unconscious, subconscious mind to be enlightened and illuminated through the power of the Neptune retrograde in context to that transformative aspect to the Plutonian energy that's sextiling. This is how we're going to change our own lives in retrospect. And if you're not up to the challenge, then just go eat Cheetos and watch TV, man. Be devoured. It's your choice. It really is your choice. And look, people like me, like Logan, others that are in network together, we're not here to put anyone down or to tell you you're, whatever. We're here to help empower the aspect of your life. This is why we do these. This is why we take the time to do these podcasts. We're not fucking around. We're forging things within our own lives. We are being a witness out there. And we want you to link up and come along with us and be a force of nature to the reality field itself. And this is how you do it. This is how you become a wizard. This is how you become an actual force to being a magician and working with true magic, high planetary magic. It's how we do it, man. So just kind of wrapping it up, that's the aspect that we're dealing with right now.
Love it.
It's your choice.
It's your choice.
It's your reality. Make it a good one.
Make it a good one.
That's right.
Exactly. Don't wish it. Don't believe it. Don't flow it.
Yeah. Don't get caught in this. It's destiny and all of this, everything's already predetermined. Look, it's wide open because the choices that you make are in the present moment are going to determine your future. Mm-hmm. So make good choices. Don't make choices out of emotional baggage and responses. That's your past. If you do that, you're going to continue to relive your past in your future. You will never have a future. You'll always be in the past. That's why in the present moment, you have to be able to take a step back and make choices out of what? Out of your logic, your reason, your understanding, and then allow the emotional passion of Mars and transformative aspect of Pluto to then drive the narrative to that 9th house and expansion of consciousness of Jupiter, and then eventually to the 12th gate, which will give you the big picture of your overall life soul progression journey. So don't get caught in the little things, guys.
Well said, brother.
Yeah.
Always a fiery one. These conversations are just always so good. And I mean, even personally, I get a lot out of this. And
so do I. Yeah.
Hopefully everyone else does too. I think, I think they do. We can always get a lot of good feedback on these. So let us know in the comments, what do you think about this conversation? What do you have something to add or disagree with? Again, please like the video. It really helps get seen by more people. And of course, subscribe and click the notifications. Do follow us on social media. All of the links are below in the link tree, including the new Telegram channel. So bypass all of the algorithm bullshit if you want to see new shit as it's dropping, announcements, things like that, and interact with other people. There's also the Telegram version of the Inner Sanctum via the initiation package as well. And if anyone hasn't gone through that, I highly recommend that. It's a free mini course also below. So lots of good stuff.
Absolutely.
It's all there for you. I'm doing my best to just, give people the tools and the mindsets. That's what this channel is all about, giving you the spiritual tools and mindsets to live a more free and empowered life. So Appreciate everyone watching. Rodney,
Yes.
real quick, tell the people where they can find you, get your services, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, hardcoreproductions.com. Email me at hardcoreproductions9@gmail.com. And then also you can get a hold of me even on my Facebook page, Rodney Goodwin. You can message me there as well. A lot of different ways to get a hold of me. I just did a reading for a really nice young lady. And I was kind of blown away because I looked at her chart and she had a grand cross, and I'm like, holy moly, guacamole! And I started breaking it down, man. And by the end of the reading, she was blown away, man. She was like, oh my god, I had no idea that astrology was this accurate. And I want to tell you, that's how accurate astrology actually is, especially when you learn how to read these charts or even just read your own chart. Look, guys, if you really, really want to actually take the next step, you've got to start diving into your own personal templating. That's part of the process of gnosis that takes place. And it's very important that you understand your personal solar spiral and gates that are on the outside of that and how they all work together. And I can help you do that.
Absolutely.
So hit me up, if you're looking for that type of, that type of action going on in your life.
Do it. Highly, highly recommend it, man. Excellent, brother. Well, I always appreciate you coming on the show, bringing that heat, bringing that thunder, and we'll do this again soon. But I appreciate everyone watching. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next video. But until next time, as always, be empowered, inspired, and encouraged.